So today I want to talk to you about something really important. If you own property in Wichita County, Clay County, or Archer County, or anywhere in Texas for that matter, but more importantly for our community here. And it's about property taxes, so you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned, we're getting started right now. Hey y'all, welcome back to this episode of Your Wichita Falls. I'm Debbie Dobbins and I am your host for this episode. Some of you know that I do a little real estate dabbling, but we'll talk about that in a second. What I want to talk to you about today is property taxes. Now, I did a little video when the property tax appraisals came out, which is very important. And I encourage you to all go watch it. I did a community meeting that's probably about 90 minutes long, but it is worth the watch. Unfortunately, the time frame for protesting and exemptions, well, exemptions have not passed. So you can file an exemption at any time based on when you bought your property. I encourage you absolutely to make sure that you're filing for your homestead exemptions, your over 65 exemptions, your VA disability exemptions, because they will save you a lot of money. And I've done videos on the exemptions in the past, but this year, more than ever before, super important. So if you have any questions about that, you can do the Zoom link request for a meeting in the first comments below. But here's the thing, is if you have a mortgage on your house, and I need you all to pay special attention to this. I did a video last year about this. Well, those that didn't watch felt a lot of pain. And unfortunately, this pain is going to happen again because the values went up. And what happens if you have a mortgage is your mortgage company is not paying attention to all of this craziness. They're going by last year's information, just like they did last year, the year before that. So let's just use a simple example. Let's say that your payment on your mortgage includes your taxes and insurance, and I'll just take an arbitrary number. $100 of that payment is set aside for your taxes. And it's based on what your taxes were when you bought the house, which was the previous year. And then fast forward, because all taxes in Texas are due and the bills come out from the tax assessor's office or the tax collector's office, if you will. They come out in November and they're not delinquent until January 1st, but your lenders generally are paying them in November and December. So let's fast forward. It's now November of 2022. The bills come out and your lender doesn't have any idea of all this craziness that's been going on in the last few months with the appraised values going up. Therefore, your taxes themselves are going up. So they've been collecting all along $100 a month for this $1,200 supposed amount that you pay. This is a fictional amount. They're usually much higher. And then now you get this tax bill and it's twice as much. I'm using an arbitrary number, but let's use this as an example. They should have been collecting $200 a month, not $100 a month. So what does that mean for you as the homeowner? How does that affect you paying your mortgage? Well, your mortgage company can only collect based on the information that they have at any given moment. And each year they reassess how much your escrow account should be collecting so that they have enough to pay it when it's due. Because if you know and understand that your mortgage, taxes, and insurance go into this little thing called an escrow account, which is a little savings account, and it's 1/12 of whatever that payment is. So in this example, it was $1,200 a year, which is what you pay for your taxes. They're collecting $100 a month. Yay, when it comes to payment of your taxes. If your taxes didn't go up, then you'd be fine. But if they went up 40%, 50%, 100% in some cases, and your tax valuation went up, your tax base went up, now your taxes are increased. So here we are in November. Your lender gets the new bill from the tax assessor's office or the county collector's office, and they say, oh my gosh, they're now charging $2,400 instead of $1,200. We are not only going to have to raise your payment amount $100 to cover that going forward, they're also now $1,200 short in your escrow account. It's called an escrow shortage. Some of you may have already experienced this if you watched my video last year, or you've owned property in your life and you know when they reassess your escrow account, they don't always do it correctly. Sometimes they just didn't do it correctly to begin with, but let's say that they did and your taxes went up. So now they have to collect an extra $100 to cover your shortage and an extra $100 going forward because your taxes went up. So in this scenario, your payment would have gone up $200 instead of the $100, which would compensate for the new taxes. Now, how do you figure out whether that's going to happen to you or not? I'm going to tell you that it's really simple and you can be proactive, which is what I shared last year, is please be proactive now because it's going to hurt a whole lot more later. You can go to Wichita Falls CAD. So I'm going to give you a link to that as it's scrolling across the screen. And here's an example of what that page looks like. Once you go on there, you enter in your own address. What it will do is it will pull up your tax information. The area that you're really interested in knowing about is where the tax assessment is, where the property taxes are, that they're estimating, and that's all that is at this point because the bills don't come out until November. What you want to do is look at that number. First of all, see if you have your exemptions. If you don't, please file those. But if you do, and let's say that your taxes are $3,500 a year, divide that by 12. And is that how much your lender, so you can go to your mortgage statement and see exactly how much your lender is collecting for your property tax payment. Because if they're collecting $130 a month and this figure that you just found on CAD is $150 a month, there's a difference of $20 that's been accumulating over time and it will show up in November. You can actually pay that shortage now, or you can set aside the money and begin to save it, because right now we are not 100% sure what those tax rates are going to be, because as we speak in July, every city and county and school district is meeting to determine whether or not they're in compliance with the new constitutional law that says they cannot go over 3% of their budget from last year. So please look at my video about all of that explanation. But at the end of the day, you can start to be prepared for this increase in your payment because they will go up, I promise you. I don't know anybody right now that their taxes did not go up because of the increase of the property values. And that's all because of the market. And I've done the video on that, so we're not going to rehash it. But it's really important that you take control of your finances because it's a really big hit if in November or December, or sometimes they don't reanalyze your account until January or February of last year and you've forgotten about all of this, that you get a statement in the mail from your lender that says, oh, by the way, send us $700 to $2,000 to cover your escrow shortage, and then your payment is going to go up in addition to that. It's really something that you can begin to be proactive about right now. And if you ever have any questions, obviously, I'm always here to answer those questions. There's a Zoom link in the first comments below, so you can certainly ask to have a Zoom call with me and I'll explain it to you. But the good news is, the very good news is that we passed a law in June that said the homestead exemption went up $40,000 from 25 to 40. So you are absolutely on the right track to getting lower taxes this year. And I'm really excited that we've been proactive in Texas. So if you have any questions, let me know. Once again, Debbie Dobbins. Y'all come back now, you hear? Bye.